going on there, YouTube? Took about a week off here, just living life, working and all that. So, not really sure what I'm going to do here on the new rat rod build. I just was playing around here with some rear links. I need to get my rear suspension finished and hanging, at least get the axle hanging out where it needs to be. So I'm going to pick through some rods and try to find something that works. Kind of drill a couple more holes in the frame. Yeah, not really sure how this is going to be, a long video or a short video. I'm just going to tie up a couple loose ends and try to get what I've started done so we can move forward to the next step. So I swapped out here to another truss on the axle. I'll show you that better. This one had some longer rods on it. Still not quite long enough, so I'm going to do some fiddling around here with the rod ends and try to sort out what'll be best. I think I can do it with just a longer rod end. And yep, see where we go. Alright guys, so I've marked round about where I think I need it to be. The pinion angle is going to be pointed down a little bit because obviously our drive line is going to be low on the chassis. So I'm still playing with this a little bit. I got the rods to a different length, but I think this is going to work. If I need to add a little bit more length at an upper rod, I can pretty easily. So I'm going to drill one hole on one side first, and then I'm going to get my caliper and measure, try to get it exactly on the other side, because I can't take the rails apart now that we welded the front crossmember on for the steering servo. So no more taking them apart, putting them together and drilling exactly through. So this ought to be fun. Alright guys, I got all that on. Pinion angle looks decent. Like I said, we're not going to have a real high ride height, sorry. So I think it'll stay just fine and dandy. If I need to later, I can come back and add more to that rod, the uppers, but I think it's going to work out alright. So now my rear end is locked. It won't shift side to side like it was, swing around wildly. Yeah, I'm running out of stuff. I'm waiting on some hardware to come. I ordered on Amazon thinking that it would be shipped from the US, and it came from China. So these little M3 lock nuts, I ran out completely, and I'm waiting on like 150 or 300. I don't even remember how many that I ordered off Amazon to get here. So been stealing off of other cars and things. So I got a lot of catching up to do once I get those in. But another thing I'm running out of, my spacers. This is my bucket of rod ends and rods and stuff. I'm running out of my different sized shims, and those come in handy for like what I did here, so the rod end doesn't rub the inside of the frame rail. This being a C-channel, I needed something in there to allow that to not rub against the rail. Luckily I had some I think they're shock ends. They're the ball end out of a shock, and they work just as well as these aluminum spacers do. So I got those in there. Just trying to keep with the tradition here of just using what I got. I did have one revelation here about the rear end. All of my shock mounts on this axle are outside of the frame rail. My original plan was to have all the shocks and stuff inside and tie into the upper 4-link rod mounts, but I think that's going to have to change now, because there's nowhere to connect it back here, short of making some new holes here in either the truss or the axle. You really can't drill a whole lot through into the axle without getting into your shafts, so not sure yet how that's going to work. That's one of the little things I'm going to take a chance on and just keep moving forward, try to engineer our way out of it later. I'm still brainstorming different ideas. I'm really trying not to rush this build, because I want to, I don't know, I rushed the last one because I was so excited it was coming together. So I'm just trying to take it easy on this build and see where it goes. But trying to think three steps ahead of everything is a little bit challenging, but it's coming out pretty good so far. So I'm just going to keep going with the pace I've got. I think next I'm going to go ahead and make a link for the steering up front. Alright guys, so just a little link rod there. It's pretty parallel. Everything's squared away. Nice smooth steering. When the chassis ride height, I'm sure I'll have to adjust it, but with the suspension movement, I'm not getting a whole lot of bump steer. I mean, it will never articulate that much. So it's better, I think, to have the servo right there. I'm still having some issues with my frame rails. I think they're bent a little bit from the heat of welding. So I may have to pull this front end off and try to bend them around a little bit, because it's still rubbing on this side just a little. Just where I drilled that hole, it may just be a burr. Yeah, there's an edge sticking out there. But it's not going to set up. This thing's barely going to have any ground clearance. It's not going to be like my other rat rod where it's going to be in the dirt at all. It's just going to be strictly a street rig. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. I'm going to kind of brainstorm some suspension ideas for the rear. The front, I'm still at a loss. I'm not sure. I keep doing this, and it's just too big, that leaf spring, and there's nowhere now with my servo there to put a mount to hang the leaf spring out over the front axle. So, gonna go do some brainstorming and we'll be back. Alright guys, I'm gonna keep this video short. I'm out of ideas for right now. Everything is jiving just nice. My pinion angle looks like it's gonna be good. Steering looks like it's gonna be good. I'm still not sure where I want to go on suspension. I really want to make this have a scale air ride, but I bought some Lego pneumatic set. It was expensive. It was like 150 bucks. And I looked at it and I've toyed with those ideas. That's what I originally bought for the big red lowrider build. And it just it's Legos. I mean, you know how Lego plastic is. It's not bad quality, but it's just toy looking, and yeah, you could paint it, but the way the air system was, you had to pump it up to air, because you can't make a scale air compressor, and it wasn't jiving right with me, so I sold that set off, and now I'm back to the servo idea. On this, I have no idea where I would put servos, I don't even know how to do all that stuff. I've done a little bit of research, but it's still kind of new to me, so I've never done a servo hydraulic air setup. But it's not out of the question on this build. It's not for sure, but it's not written off yet. Because this thing just looks so dang good sitting on the ground. Body laid out flat just like it is right there. I can't not think about it. I grew up doing bag trucks, and I had a Honda Civic with air ride and just all that silly stuff, so I love cars laid out on the ground. So it's not out of the question on this yet. I may keep doing some more research into the servo setups, see what I can come up with, but for now, the suspension front and rear is hung. The axles are out where they need to be, and the rear is nice and tight. Pinion angle's good, so we're going to wrap it up. I did have one thing I wanted to give y'all a sneak peek. I wanted to do, and this is a truck cab, so I needed a truck bed, and if you've been following along the channel, you know I used to restore vintage 40s, 50s, 60s Tonka trucks and the like, other brands and things. And this is a bed off of a late 50s, early 60s Tonka truck, and the size is right. It's the perfect width for one, and it's the perfect height and length, but obviously it can't sit like that. But this is one I've got buckets of those vintage parts just sitting around. I used to restore them and customize them and make them all sorts of neat. But I'm thinking about maybe cutting this up and making it work on here somehow. Obviously I won't be able to run the bed floor inside of it. This is all steel, 1958 steel if I remember correct on this piece. It's still got both of the tailgate chain hooks on it. So I don't know. I've got a few more. I hate to hack this one up because it is in pretty good shape. This stuff's getting hard to come by these days, but the bed sides might look good. Cut the bed sides off, mount them level with the frame, and you know, you got an actual scale, period correct looking bed. just the bed size anyway, because I don't want to hide the suspension, because I still don't know yet what I'm going to do. I don't know if it's going to be pretty cantilever setup like I originally designed. I don't know if it's going to be some kind of servo actuated air ride. So I don't know, just another variable thrown into the mix. But I thank you guys for watching, and I'd like to welcome all our new subscribers. We had a big boost in viewers here this past couple weeks over Thanksgiving, and please go back and check out some of the older stuff. It's not quite like this, but I think it's pretty interesting builds and product reviews and things like that. But anyways, see y'all in the next video.